If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to Downfall Network for more cool content. What's up, everyone? Thralls Metal here once again. I am Necrotic.
And I'm Jammin John.
And we have an album review for you. So today we are reviewing the debut EP from Instigate with Echoes of a Dying World. This came out on the 5th of June on Everlasting Spew Records, and to a degree, this is kind of a supergroup. This band formed in 2019 from members of Blood Truth, Demiurgeon, and drummer extraordinaire Kevin Talley, who's been in Dying Fetus, Misery Index, Doth, Chimera, and we even saw him in Suffocation not too long ago.
Pretty sweet. He murdered that drum set. Suffocation.
100%. That dude was absolutely killer then.
Yep.
So, to a degree, this is kind of a supergroup, but more of like kind of an underground supergroup, or more just sort of a collective project. These guys really didn't get a chance to do all this stuff in the studio. It was pretty much over file sharing and such, but they wanted to get something out, and they came out with this interesting EP. So this is pretty much flat out death grind. Now, this is only a 3-track EP. It only clocks a little over 11 minutes, so we're just going to go over each track on here since it's only 3 tracks.
Yep.
Now, it opens up with Obliteration, and right away you get kind of an interesting groove-oriented riff. It doesn't really open up like a grindcore album really would. I would expect something a little bit more blasty right out of the gates.
Yeah.
But it's definitely sort of starts off more the death metal side, but it's kind of almost like a groove metal riff.
I was gonna say, yep. In fact, there's a lot of groove riffs that appear in this more so than blast do.
Yeah.
Which take away a little bit from it being marketed as a grindcore band.
Well, it's death grind, so it kind of balances out the two. Now, what's interesting though is the production is gritty in some respects, but in others, I think it's a little too clean. I think the bass tone sounds maybe a little too clean for death grind per se.
And it's also a little bit too loud over the guitar. Something isn't right with the leveling of that.
Yeah.
Now, again, since they didn't do it in the studio and they did it via file sharing, fucking alright.
You know, hey, you gotta adapt to these times. That pretty much they even said during the COVID outbreak this is what they had to do.
Right.
But they still got it out. And it's just kind of an interesting contrast there. I don't know if I really, dislike it, but I don't necessarily like it. It's just sort of interesting. When it comes down to death grind, I think of bands like Misery Index.
Right.
I mean, we're jamming Traitors right now, and honestly, that is pretty much one of my favorite death grind albums. The mix on it is really, really gritty, and I like the fact that the bass is a little bit lower in the mix, but the tone is very, very heavy.
Yep, correct.
And it fills out the sound. I think most of the bass is actually carried by Kevin Talley's remarkable bass drumming. I mean, Jesus, his feet are flying.
His footwork is nasty, but it always is, though.
Yeah.
Kevin Talley never lets me down as far as performance is concerned.
Now, this song definitely breaks into some faster grind moments. Actually, there's a lot of stuff in here that remind me of that sort of that napalm death gallop. Mm-hmm. But most of it kind of sticks to that. Again, Misery Index, Cold Worker was a band I thought of. Benighted,
yep.
But this one kind of sticks close to this formula of switching back and forth between this main riff. And honestly, the main riff, I think it's good, but it really doesn't carry the song very well. Now, when you get to the next track, Embrace the End, I think this one has quite a bit more energy to it. Mm-hmm. The groovy riff that comes in the beginning, which I didn't kind of like the fact they started off almost the same way they started off in the previous song. Yeah. And the riff's a little similar. It's still different, but it just sounds similar in terms of the style.
Yeah.
But this one is definitely punctuated with more blasts. There's a really cool crawling riff section over blasts. And I think this is one where Kevin Talley just really lets loose.
Yeah. The chorus riff, I thought, was a little bit more grindy.
Yeah. There was a little bit more of the grind side of things on this one.
Other than that, it was a good song. And then we go into Atonement, which was my personal favorite.
That was my personal favorite as well.
It's got this really nice, stomp chug opening.
And again, the footwork is awesome. It's broken up. It's not just that standard, but it's broken up really cleverly. Yep. And, it's Kevin Talley.
And then the chorus ends up being just straight death metal.
Actually,
which is cool.
Yeah, it's the only spot on here where, a legit tremolo riff really pops up. Like a flat-out, Morbid Angel tremolo chug. And makes for a solid standout moment. But the back half is really cool because you get greeted to, I think, the only real breakdown on here.
Yep.
Big open chord breakdown. And there's actually a little bit of a lead melody that pops up on top that kind of gives it just a little bit of atmosphere.
It's not real noticeable, but it adds a little bit of depth to that part. So.
And Deathgrind's really not known for atmosphere, but it was nice that they threw that in there. And I really got into this, and how they kind of worked with this, because the whole back half is kind of working with this breakdown and sort of changing it around.
Correct.
Sometimes they'll switch to a blast, sometimes they'll throw in a different, little progression in there. And I really liked this song in particular because I think it showed off some stuff that wasn't on the rest of the EP. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the one that's like, well, we're going to go a little bit outside of Deathgrind in general. We're still going to have Deathgrind in here, but this one's going to have way more death metal elements in it.
I really hope that's the way the full length ends up being. There ends up being more elements than just a couple straightforward songs.
Yeah. So. Yeah, this one showed off some dynamic writing. I'd love to hear more of that. And I assume this is going to be a full length. I mean, generally when you get a group like this together, you're kind of hoping they're going to do a full length. But again, busy schedules, these guys are all in different bands.
Right.
But as far as a teaser goes, this is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I definitely want to check out more when it comes out, or if it comes out. I hope it comes out. And I will get a copy of this.
I'm sure we'll know.
I'm sure we'll find out.
I bought this record. It also came with a digital download.
Swanky. So overall, I'm going to give this 3 stars. I think this is a solid offering. It's pretty much a good sample size, like, a nice little cheese tray, except it's Deathgrind flavored cheese, which I don't know how that would taste, but it's probably not good. But I liked it. Kevin Talley's drum work is fantastic, and there are some really cool riffs on here. I just think the mix is a little odd, at least on the bass, but overall, it's good stuff.
I'm also going to give it a 3. EPs are kind of precursors to, again, full albums, so I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yes.
Like, I want to see it continue. I also really enjoyed it. Like, when I found them, the 30-second snippet I heard on Instagram sounded solid, so I was like, I can't wait for this. And, yep. Yeah, I mean, there's definite groove in it. There's a lot of different elements, although it seems to be more of a groove-oriented thing, but that's not a problem, so...
No, groove is good.
All right.
So are blasts.
Yeah.
So, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe, because we do this sort of stuff all the time. And you know what? We should probably talk about Instagram.
Oh, yeah, we haven't talked about Instagram in a while. So, Thralls is on Instagram, and if you have a band that is not signed, or you're on maybe a little lesser-known label, send it on over to us, and I'll give it a review, and we'll get you out there. It'll be neat.
You guys take her easy.
Later.